Hello, good morning, Year 7. Welcome to your fifth lesson on the Silk Road. We only have one after this one. We've built up quite a lot of knowledge about the ancient and medieval Silk Road and what it was used for and how it operated. But before we move into the lesson proper, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to complete this sentence. So for the starter activity, number one, it's a bit of a hark back to last lesson. An extreme desire for wealth is also known as what? Question number two, I just want you to list the three primary, and we referred to them last lesson as hub cities. A hub is a place where roads intersect and people meet and go in their opposite directions. What were the three primary hub cities for east to west trade? And number three, silk was produced exclusively in China until the secret was discovered by the who around 300 AD. So pause the video, complete these three sentences, and then resume when you're done. All right, your answers were avarice, so extreme desire for wealth is also known as avarice. Number three, the three primary hub cities, the great cities of the ancient world, really. Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, Jerusalem, and Alexandria. Number three, silk was produced exclusively in China until the secret was discovered by the Japanese around 300 AD. It was discovered by the Byzantine Romans, who were based in Constantinople. Around 250 years later, it was snuck out by two monks, silkworms, hidden under their garments, and they took it to Constantinople, where they started a slightly smaller silk industry. Okay, can you get your title for today's lesson down? What factors influence the spread of religion across the Silk Roads? Just copy and underline date and title. Make sure your work is well presented. Okay, so in your folder for this week, you have two sources. We've got two new historians, lucky you, to explore, examine. And what I want you to do is read their accounts of how religions were important in the Silk Road. So your first historian is Valerie Hansen. We're going to be looking at an extract from her book, Silk Road. You have two questions to answer based on her extract. And then your second historian is Jinru Liu, and she wrote a book called The Silk Road and World History. Very interesting work too. And she writes about, amongst other things, how paper making spread around the world because of interactions between religions. So answer the three questions there. Once you've done that, we can move on to the next task. So you've read the views of some historians. I want you just to think about what they say caused religion to spread along the Silk Road, but those are really the questions that you have to answer anyway. Now we're moving on to our extended writing, and I'm just going to offer you guys some factors that I know of that allowed the spread of religion along the Silk Road. Number one, religion was very valuable for rulers along the Silk Roads because it helped them to make sure their populations were all thinking the same way, behaving in the same way. So it was an effective means of control. Number two, the rise in prosperity, is a new word there, prosperity meaning wealth, allowed greater copying and sharing of text. So more money meant more people wanted to be educated. They had more free time. They wanted to learn things, and that enabled greater copying and sharing of text, including religious texts. Propaganda and public relations, so this is a slightly more sophisticated point. So ideas were spread about other religions to promote your own religion, such as saying some religions were uncivilized, and that's a word we learned in our last unit on the Romans, and they called each other barbarians, and that promoted their own religions. Around the year 300 AD, the Roman Empire became Christian, and another way that spread was now the Roman Empire protected Christians, and this made Christianity seem like a powerful religion, and this encouraged people to accept it. The final one, Christianity growth in Asia before Europe, archbishops all over the Middle East, Basra in Iraq, Mosul in Iraq, Kashgar, all there before. Big sort of archbishoprics in England, for example, and Christianity spread quite quickly. Another one around the year 1300, the plague, the bubonic plague, caused chaos and along the Silk Road, and that's going to be our next unit, is to explore the spread of the bubonic plague. And this made religion actually seem much more exciting, much more acceptable to a lot of people, particularly the religion of Islam, which they saw as peaceful and had a simple message, and this led to the spread of Islam along the Silk Road, interestingly. And there's a few other factors here as well, which you can look at. But now you've read and you've heard the views of some historians, what I want you to do is I want you to think about this question, which is, what were the factors that influenced the spread of religion along the Silk Road? To give one opinion on why religion spread along the Silk Road, you could say because of knowledge, you could say because of rulers who wanted to grow their prosperity, you could say because rulers wanted to control their population. Whatever it is, I want you to write that statement down, and I want you to develop it. This is the form that we've been following: point, evidence, explanation, and then evaluation here, which is some historians have a different view and just give a contrasting view with the ones that you've given. So let's make that about a third of a page, maybe a little bit longer. Nice detailed section. So one thing I forgot to mention, and it is on the PowerPoint saved here, is actually here, slide 4. I want you to open the video and just take notes on the spread of Islam around China. So these 3 points. Okay. Once you finish that, save your work, upload it through the assignment tabs. If you're taking a picture, make sure the picture is upright, clear, and easily visible to me. If you have any questions, just put it underneath the lesson post and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Good luck.